The show obviously has such a rich history of LGBT representation. It
Yeah.
hasn't always been perfect, but
Yeah.
I can't overstate its importance to people like me and people of my generation.
Yeah.
And you're still adding to it now as a character, but also as an executive producer. Why is it important to you to still be adding to that representation?
Well, I think, as you say, back in the day, it certainly wasn't perfect, but it was really great to have these compelling gay characters, to have Stanford and Anthony, who were such, gay men who amazingly wound up together, but really polar opposites. But also things like, Miranda being mistaken for a lesbian very early on, and Charlotte sort of day tripping with the power lesbians, and, Charlotte's, I think maybe in the same episode, I can't remember, maybe not, the cross-dressing and the drag kings and all that stuff, and, Carrie's Stanford and Carrie's belated prom at the LGBTQ center. All of that stuff was so great. A lot of it was comedic because that was sort of, I think, what was allowed then, frankly.
I'm just glad that we were out there trying in the beginning, right? Because there weren't that many shows in 1997, which is when we filmed the pilot, who were speaking to the gay community and the lesbian community and, the drag queens, everyone, right? Like RuPaul hadn't done his show yet, right? So, from that perspective, I love that we were out there. We might not have always been on target, or maybe politically correct, but we were trying. And also, we've been so embraced by every community that it's been a joy to extend those storylines.
I think because it's the world, it's our world, it's what exists, it's the reality of our lives, and we are a very specific show about a specific time and place and a particular culture, and it doesn't take place somewhere else where that might not be the case. But our city and the things that have inspired these particular women are in large part a product of the gay community. Like all the things that we are drawn toward in terms of, not outside, of course, of being mothers perhaps, or our professional paths, the things that call out to us for inspiration, for beauty, for creativity, for innovation, the things that dazzle us are the product of the gay community in many, many ways. So it is right and good that should be reflected by the population of the show.
But I feel like now we have shown such a broader range of sexuality in terms of trans characters, in terms of non-binary characters, in terms of lesbians, bisexual, people like Miranda. I'm not sure how Miranda would identify, but I love that Miranda can fully invest in dating women and non-binary people, but not dismiss or abuse or denigrate her past, very full, rich history with men. I love that.
And when we came back with And Just Like That, we wanted to continue to push different boundaries that weren't being pushed, where we saw areas that we believed there need to be representation in stories, kind of true stories, true to life stories. We wanted to do that because that's who we are. And I feel we have done it, and I know not everyone loves it, but I also feel like that's okay because you can't please everyone. But for us, we want to try. We want to try to bring light to areas where maybe there's misunderstanding. We want to try to bring light to what it's really like to have a child that presents as non-binary. And I have many friends who have children who are non-binary. And, your job as a parent is to support that child. And that is the end of that conversation, as far as I believe.
Absolutely. And your character, out of all of them, is the one that's evolved the most. Is it a unique opportunity to get to demonstrate that? And is that a responsibility you take seriously?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel I'm not necessarily the obvious choice, right? But that's why it's so great, because it's not something that people choose. It just happens. It's how people are born. And that's part of the point of it all, right? Is that, like, as a parent, you need to expand for that child. You need to expand your worldview. You need to expand your flexibility in terms of how you can support them, how you can be there for them. That's what my friends who are parents of non-binary children and trans children are doing. And I feel like it's not something that's necessarily going to be like, oh my God, so dramatic. It's just how it is, right? And that's how I think Charlotte has dealt with it, which I'm very proud of. And I think it's so important to continue. And we've done so much research on it. And Michael was so worried about it in the beginning that we talk to a lot of people and get a lot of viewpoints and really cover our bases in terms of, you know, not going too far or being kind of clickbaity, you know, like just being real. And that's what I love about it. And wait till you see the developments this year. It's great.
Have you had a great response from people who have come out later in life or were inspired to by your character?
Yes, I mean, I feel like, yeah, young women in particular tell me all the time that it's like a lot for their parents to hear that they're lesbians. But when they when they can point to a woman on Sex and the City as also being a lesbian, the parents, you know, get a modicum of you know, calming down from that, I guess.